Welcome to the IDP Trade Show. I am your host, Josh Raymer, joined by these two knuckleheads in the Sode Shack tonight. It is Adam Markham, Bobby Reynolds. Gentlemen, what do you say we talk some trades?
I guess that's okay.
I feel like trades are kind of fun. Bobo, what say you?
Trades are great. Trades are great.
Trades are good. Trades are good.
Leagues are waking back up. The NFL draft has come and gone. Dynasty startups are going. Rookie drafts are going. It feels like the awakening for our fantasy leagues is here, boys.
Yeah, just a lot more options at this time of year, you know. Everyone's wanting them picks. Everyone's willing to, maybe downplay these solid veterans. And, yeah, it makes it easier to get deals done. Love to see it.
I've always been more of the rookie pick guy, Bobo, but I've come around. Maybe it's just the old man in me. I like the veterans now.
I'm with you.
Veterans are kind of nice.
The old waiver wire has been pretty interesting lately. You know, I'm kind of making a little note. All right, then. I'm going to come back for old Kyler Gordon if you're going to drop him. Sure.
He got dropped?
Yeah, he got dropped.
Okay.
Pretty deep league.
That's
Shout out
nice.
Nico.
We got people tuning in already. Chase says it is trade season. Chase, thank you for tuning in. I think we have some of your trades to break down here tonight.
Yeah, it's true. I think we had maybe the most responses we've ever had on it.
24 trades, I believe, to break down tonight.
So lots of good stuff tonight.
Lots of good stuff. Thank you all so much for sending in your trades via the website, via Twitter. We got a couple of Addies trades to break down. So what we're going to do tonight, we've got some trades already kind of built in here. But we are going to be breaking down your trades. If you are watching, if you're tuning in, and you have some trades that you're considering, that you have sitting in your inbox, you're maybe thinking about sending them, or you've made them recently, drop them in the chat, and we will break them down live on the show. But boys, let's kick things off. We got a lot of trades to get to. Again, comment and with your trade, add as much detail as possible, league size, as far as the number of teams, scoring, roster settings, starting requirements, all that good stuff. The more information you give us, the better.
Feel free to drop some rookie questions potentially.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool if you're on the clock, if you're thinking about, drafting somebody, feel free to drop those in as well.
Yes, absolutely.
I've already completed about 4 or 5 of those. I think 5.
5 rookie drafts
5
in?
rookie drafts, so we're in good shape.
Yeah.
Feeling good?
I think so, yeah. I love the late picks. Tons of Tyke Smith, tons of Cole Bishop late. So, yeah, tons of value there. Tight ends, you can get them pretty late. It's a fun draft.
Fun draft. We got our main draft coming up here May 25th, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll be breaking that down on the show. But let's jump in, boys, with one of our favorites right off the top. DJ Keltown says that in a 16-team Superflex PPR tight end premium start 11 offense, and it is 4-3-4 with a flex. Solo 1.5, assist 1, sack 5, QB hit 1, TFL 1. Traded the 212 for Rashawn Gary and Chase Young. The 212 became Dallas Turner. Addy, I think you have a little more perspective on this one.
This is my trade as well.
This was your trade. I love it.
Yeah, shooting my shot here, going for the upside in youth. I think Dallas Turner has the highest upside of the group here. Part of my worries about Gary and Young is the future market value of both of these guys if they were to sustain other injuries. Remember, they've already both had torn ACLs since entering the NFL, so that gives me a little bit of pause. And also, I don't know. I mean, Chase Young at this point, I don't really care about him. Rashawn Gary is a nice piece. I mean, PFF-wise, one of the darling types, great pressure rate, great pass rush win rate. But for IDP production, he doesn't really, I don't know, it didn't really knock me off my feet, So
yeah, he's one of those that's not like
very up and down,
top tier.
Right, very up and down. He has these splash weeks, but not very consistent. I feel like Dallas Turner has just higher upside, and he's also a Minnesota Viking. I'm a Viking fan.
Yes.
It's always nice.
A little bit of homerism.
Always nice to get rid of a Packer. But I think overall, I think that's a pretty fair value trade.
I think so. I think this is one of those, Bobo, that it's kind of situation dependent. I think it's probably Rashawn Gary that has the most likely to give you production in 2024. And I think Chase Young, I took him, I think, in the 15th or 16th round of one of these best ball drafts. I know DJ Keltown is a fan, so not a surprise to see Chase Young thrown in on this deal. So I think if you're trying to win now, Gary and Young is probably the side you want, but there's no doubt in my mind that Dallas Turner has the highest upside of this group.
TheIDPshow.com. If you go to sub us, you can actually get a peek into Adam's dynasty ranks. So,
Take a peek into that beautiful mind of his.
Absolutely. I kind of wanted to see where Dallas Turner was at. So Adam has Dallas Turner right now as the edge 10, and then has Rashawn Gary as the edge 18. That's probably, I feel like standard value right now for most people. People are probably going to value Gary over Turner.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
I mean,
We talked about it a little bit. Dallas Turner was kind of getting a little bit of shade. I think
Yeah.
Latu was kind of surging. Verse was kind of surging.
Yeah, I think so.
Seems like now, post-draft, I think consensus would have Dallas Turner third in the pecking order.
Yeah, it seems to
Just
be how
based
it goes
on,
in
like-
most of the rookie drafts I've been in.
Yeah,
so far.
streets, the kind of response that I've seen on the Twitter streets and in some of these draft
Right.
results.
The leagues where I'm not taking him first. in the
Exactly.
group,
Yes.
Right.
He's going
He's
third.
going third.
Yeah.
And that's all right. I mean, I do think if you're a Verse and Latu fan, I think you're going to have an opportunity to do some victory lap in year 1 and year 2.
Mm-hmm.
But Dallas Turner's coming.
But just wait.
for sure.
Yeah.
Just wait. So, Bobo, what do you think? I'm saying even trade. I think it makes sense for both
Yeah,
sides.
it's close. I get it. I can't stand Chase Young. He's just a roster clogger at this point, so I agree with that. But I see upsides to both sides. of this
Start
trade
4
here.
DL, though. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's fine as like a DL
Is
6,
Turner
7,
dual
bye-week
Desi?
fill-in.
He will be, yeah.
Okay, so Gary's dual, which is nice.
Yep.
I do still like Gary. Still kind of young, 26 years old. I know a
Yeah.
lot of why Adam likes Turner, and me too. At 21 years old, you got 5 years younger on
Right.
Rashawn Gary. That's probably the kicker for me.
Yeah, and 2 fully healthy ACLs.
Absolutely.
That always is nice as
Yeah.
well.
But Gary, you're right about Gary last year. I was going back and looking at his log.
And he was coming off the ACL, in fairness to him. He did seem to get better. Well, not stat-wise, but snap share-wise. He got,
They eased him in throughout the
Right.
season. You could see it.
There was not a lot of median to his scoring, though. He had a 40-point game, had a 37-point game, had a couple of 18, 14s, but then had a couple of 2s and 4s and 6s. I mean, you're right. It was very up and down for Mr. Rashawn.
Yeah, he's boom bust. He's
Yeah.
very boom bust. He's not one of those that's
So I'm
going to
thinking
be consistent.
I'm thinking Turner could be a little more consistent, but also have the higher ceiling.
Yes.
That's what I'm going for.
All
And I'm
right.
trying to get younger, and you get
Yeah.
5 years younger there.
That's pretty nice.
Also, to go back and re-speak what I said a couple weeks ago.
Re-speak it.
After I've thought about it some more, this was almost a mower thought the other day for
Ooh,
you. Shout
okay.
out mower thoughts, IDP mower thoughts.
Shout out Mower Thoughts.
I thought about it. Dallas Turner could lead the edges this year, the rookies in snaps. That's not out of the realm of possibility.
I
Who
think
could?
it's I think it's Verse.
I get Verse. I maybe get Chop. I don't know. If Dallas Turner comes in and shows in training camp that you can't take him off the field,
He could push Van Ginkel.
I was going to say, Van
Absolutely.
Ginkel's used to being the third banana.
Yeah.
So
We could easily see that.
I could
no
see
doubt.
that.
just a thought.
let's go
Yeah,
to
I'd
the
love it.
next trade, though. Speaking of Chase, Jared Verse or Zeke and Singletary. This is start 11, 11 Superflex Big 3 sleeper, 3 DL, 3 LB, 3 DB, 2 flex. For me, this is a no-brainer, Addy. This is Jared Verse. The RBs have maybe 1 or 2 years of relevance. I think we like Singletary. But if Verse hits, you've got a top 15 edge for the next 6 to 8 years. So as I'm thinking about trades and stores of value, Jared Verse is an asset that is going to hold value for much longer if he hits, which I think we all feel confident in Jared Verse.
Yeah, definitely. Singletary probably be surprisingly productive again next season, but this is pretty easy. Verse by a million. Byron Young played 969 snaps last season as a rookie for the Rams. That was 85% of the defensive snaps. I don't see any reason why Verse doesn't get a similar workload. I legit think he has a chance for like 60 tackles, 10 sacks. I just took him at the 709 in an IDP only best ball single season. So yeah, I love Verse in year one. I actually think that he could maybe be rookie of the year.
Why couldn't he be supercharged Byron Young?
Yeah, I think so, man.
Why can't he be 1,000 snaps, 85?
No more Aaron Donald.
Yeah, gone.
Like, I mean, they gotta have.
They got Braden Fisk in there, so they got his buddy. Like, I can see
the
now.
path is there.
Kobe Turner's there. Michael Hoyt is there. Byron Young is there. But in terms of draft capital, I mean, Jared Verse has got them all beat.
Yep.
Bobo, you're the Rams fan. What say you?
Yeah, this is verse 5 mile. It's not close at all. I was looking up Devin Singletary. There's not anybody there. I mean,
That is true.
If you
He's a
need-
nice sleeper running back,
if
but
you
it's
need-
Devin Singletary.
even with I don't even know, was Saquon hurt some last year? I know he played some. I mean, Singletary had some solid logs. Great logs.
Solid logs.
Some nice solid logs.
Drop it.
Oh, that was a great pull by me.
30 for 150 and 1 week 10 against Cincinnati, 22 for 112 and a touchdown week 11 against Arizona. So I mean, maybe this guy needed some running backs here. Singletary is not going to have a very long leash, but for dynasty longevity, give me Jared Verse.
These are like, you're talking about a top edge asset versus a couple of just like, 1 year flyer running backs. I think this is a no brainer. Give me
Yeah.
Jared Verse. Next up here.
People still rostering Zeke. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, back in Dallas. So next up from Chase, we got another one. Shout out Chase. Thanks again for tuning in, buddy, and sending in your trades. Jermaine Johnson or Aziz Al-Shair, same league. Big 3, Superflex 11-11 sleeper. This one is close, but because of Big 3 scoring, I'm going to go with Jermaine Johnson. What say you, Eddie?
Aziz for me.
Okay.
I like Jermaine Johnson, good run defender, so nice floor, but I'm not sure how high his ceiling is. 7.5 sacks last season, but a 12.5% pressure rate and 12.4 pass rush win rate, so nothing special. Meanwhile, Aziz handpicked to lead the defense by former DC and now head coach D'Amico Ryans. Aziz racked up 163 tackles on a 14.2% tackle rate and also picked up 2 sacks and 9 TFLs. So I think he's going to have like a similar type stat line there in Houston. And I mean, we talk about all the time, how hard it is to find these reliable 3-down linebackers. So give me Aziz there. I feel good about him for, the next 3 years, I'd say.
Okay. Aziz for Addy. Jermaine Johnson for me. Break the tie, Bobo.
Yeah, Aziz for me as well.
Okay.
Aziz had 8 double-digit tackle games in 2023 and had 4 games, Big 3 scoring of over 20 points last season. Adam's exactly right. He had 2 sacks, did have a couple other big plays as well. Don't you think that D'Amico Ryans probably thought, we'll just kind of see how the prior regime's little guys go here with Christian Harris, and I know he drafted Henry 2020 and stuff like that, but now I feel like D'Amico Ryans has been there long enough to where it's like, okay, all right, give me my guy. Let's see what we can actually do here with. They're kind of in a window. I know that sounds crazy,
Yes,
but I mean,
they absolutely
they
are.
feel like that with bringing Stephon Diggs in. They, you got your rookie quarterback on a rookie contract. You're bringing in the veteran wide receivers for help. Now you've got a little bit of running back help there with Joe Mixon. As much as I do think Jermaine Johnson has a nice little upside for 2024, Aziz Al-Shair could be a top 5 linebacker.
Yeah, for sure.
That sounds crazy to say, but I mean,
It can happen.
a lot of familiarity there with
Nice
D'Amico.
job. All
I
right.
had to
Good.
mentally
I like
get
Christian
through
Harris
it.
too.
I was gonna say,
our boy Mike Willard put out a nice little tweet the other day asking what duos are you rostering? From the same team. That's definitely one that I'm cool with.
Yeah, I think I responded to that one. Foye and Devin Lloyd is another nice
a good
combo.
one. Yep.
Christian Harris sitting as LB 28 right now. Aziz is LB 19. So I think
been
I'd rather. I don't know. That's close.
Aziz is going to be flying up though. I've been taking him in the 4th round. He was going like in the 5th or 6th round.
Yeah,
when
he
the
was. His
season
early
started.
ones. Oh, yeah. So his early ones were 55, 64, 68, 64, 62, then 55, 53, 38, 50.
There you go.
I think you're going to see him settling in that 4th round,
Yeah.
feels like.
Yeah,
So
he'll be a top 12 linebacker.
yeah, I think I would just rather scoop up the value on Christian Harris. But
Who's your favorite
I
duo?
like doing both of them.
Who did you say?
I said Foye and Devin Lloyd.
Who'd you say?
Not saying that's my
Christian Harris
favorite.
and
That's just
Aziz.
what came to
Okay,
mind.
okay.
Zaire Franklin, EJ Speed could be fun as well.
Yeah, I
we
like
saw
that
how
one.
good EJ Speed was.
Tyrell Dodson, Jerome Baker could be
Yes.
fun. And,
That's
and
a
cheap,
discount one.
and
Yes,
cheap,
that's
you
a
know?
discount.
Ernest Jones.
That's very true. Double Ernest.
So Chase said, "Thanks, fellas, got this one done." So I guess he had the Jared Verse side and got the deal done to get
Oh, yeah.
Verse. So
Well done.
Cool.
Good job, Chase.
Yeah.
Let's go to there's Mace Riney checking in saying Aziz is that dude. So I'm guessing Mace is going with Aziz as well. Thanks for tuning in, Mace. Let's go to the next one though and look at one from Philip Herzog. And we're shout out to our website subscribers. All of these starting out here are from the website subs. So shout out anyone who subbed the website and sent in a trade, theidpshow.com will always send out a thread if you want to drop your trades. Philip Herzog said 10-team PPR, big play scoring, especially for linebackers. Start 7 offense, 10 IDP. Shout out a league that just says, no, we're going more IDP than offense. Traded Pete Warner and the 307 for Jack Campbell and the 205. Whoop, whoop. Someone call the police on Philip. Addy, this was a massacre.
Yeah, I don't know how this got done. Jack Campbell is my LB11 in Dynasty. Pete Warner is LB58. You know, New Orleans brought in Willie Gay and Khaleke Hudson in free agency.
And drafted Jerome Ford.
Jalen Ford.
Jalen, sorry, not Jerome.
In the fifth.
Jerome Ford, the running back.
You're right. One of the Ford bros. So, yeah, it feels like, you know, writing's on the wall for old Stinky Pete. You know, I think that Pete Warner's going to need a new team before he finds IDP relevance, if he ever does. May not ever happen.
He just may not be that good.
Not that guy, pal.
Not that guy. I don't know what that one is. Don't put me on the spot for that one.
You're not that guy.
You're not that 2 for 2 tonight. Let's go.
Guy's good. This
pull.
guy's
Locked in.
good.
Good
I'm
pull.
locked in.
Yeah, this was a absolute slam dunk. I don't know how Philip pulled this one off. You got the better linebacker. You got the better pick. Don't show this video to your league mate, or they will never ever trade with you ever again. So
Little
just,
fricked up, honestly.
Yeah, keep this one on the DL, Philip. Bobo, I'm sure you're in
Moving
the same
on.
boat here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, real quick comment from Brad Gilbert. So Aziz will be zooming up because Adam is purposely driving up his price. Good to know. I could ignore the price rise and keep my Harris shares. So Addy doing the Lord's work, driving Aziz. I'll show you up. Another one from the website, Eric Roner, start 3 LBs plus 1 flex, so 4 LBs. He said he likes to start LB in the flex. Who to trade and who to keep. Aluakun, Okereke, Terrell Bernard, Quincy Williams, Troy Anderson, Nakobe Dean, Jack Gibbons, David Long, Trenton Simpson, Ivan Pace. Eric has done a very nice job stocking the linebacker room. This is a great group. For me, I would just keep the first 4, start them every single week. The rest are tradable. Addy, what say you?
Same thing, man. That's a great room, especially those first 4. And then that second group is interesting, right? A lot of guys with potential high upside, but a lot of risk, you know. Troy Anderson, Nakobe Dean, Ivan Pace, Trenton Simpson, you know, not a lot of guys that got really good draft capital.
Sexy, but could have the trap door under their feet as
Exactly right. If I had to rank those as a bug flies in here.
As a bug flies into your mouth.
If I had to rank those 6, I'd rank them Ivan Pace, Troy Anderson, Trenton Simpson, Nakobe Dean, Jack Gibbons, and David Long.
There you go. Yeah, I think David Long's
We've
the least sexy.
seen him. Yeah, we've seen what David Long is. I doubt it ever gets better for David Long.
I think the sexiest sell is probably of the guys that I would want to sell, either Trenton Simpson or Ivan Pace.
Yeah, Ivan Pace is a really nice sell, I think. Troy Anderson, we haven't talked about him in a while. Any concern about Landman? Josh.
No, I don't know. I don't think we have that one. That one's not on the board. I've been taking Anderson a lot, but it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to stack Landman in those drafts where I do.
Yeah. But is there any concern that Landman's the LB2 there?
Not if Anderson's healthy. Not for me, at least.
No.
Yeah.
We will see. Be one of those things to pay attention to.
I'm scared. I'm not really drafting Anderson because of that, just because I'm a little unsure, you know. But there are, I think there's just better, safer options in that Troy Anderson range.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just like, I'd rather have Jordan Hicks.
Yeah, people are still kind of high on Troy Anderson.
Yeah, right. He's still
That
going
athleticism.
still going in that 7 to
that perfect
10.
RAS is hard to look away from.
It is hard to look away from, yeah.
And I think
Former quarterback, so he's got a good brain.
Part of it too is just like I just kind of want to see what this guy can do. We've never really gotten to see it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just
fun.
a tease.
I was a big fan of Troy Anderson coming out.
Bobo, what say you?
Still holding on.
I think you hold Aluakun and Okereke, and then you probably just shop all the rest of them. And, you know, they all kind of fall the same to me. I like Quincy. I like Bernard. Anderson's fine. Nakobe Dean has very little value. I'm a lot more optimistic about Trenton Simpson's season maybe than most people. I think people are kind of still forgetting that Pat Queen is gone. Ivan Pace, does he really have a ton of value still at this point? I don't know. I would just pull whatever value I could out of the rest of those guys other than Aluakun and Okereke, and then just kind of make it work from there. Those are the only 2 that's like, I'm not really moving those guys.
That's why I ranked Ivan Pace first out of those final 6, just because market loves Ivan Pace.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody
They do.
loves
He's
him, Ivan
LB
Pace.
35. Cashman is LB 37.
Wow.
Wow.
The guy they brought in this offseason. So give me the Cashman discount, even if it's just a couple picks later.
I feel like that'll change a little bit. I think Cashman has been going in front of him for the most part ever since free agency. But people still, I mean, they go right around each other.
Yeah.
People love Ivan Pace.
They do indeed. So next up here from Aaron, we don't have the league context, but I don't think it's as important because these are a lot of big name players. He was offered Jonathan Taylor, A.J. Brown, Foye Oluokun, the 210, and a 2025 second for C.D. Lamb and Josh Jacobs. Bobo, we'll start with you on this one because I know it involves one of your favorite players.
Yeah, this one is hard to not trade for CD. All right, let's find a way to trade for CD. So, JT, man, it's hard to look away from that. A.J. Brown, he is, Adam's right here. I don't want to read into Adam's answer too much. He is getting a little slept on probably too much.
Just got re-signed, so he's going to be there.
Foye also
Secure.
re-signed, locked in, a 210 and a 25 second for Lamb and Josh Jacobs. I would love to know the background behind this setup. How many players are we starting? What's the scoring? I would love to say CD and Jacobs, but I feel like I'm probably going to have to go with the package.
I think you got to go with the package,
2
man.
seconds.
I like JT better than Josh Jacobs.
Oh,
CeeDee
yeah.
Lamb's the best piece in the deal, and I usually go towards the best piece, but A.J. Brown is not that far behind
Yeah.
CD. JT is a clear upgrade in my mind over Josh Jacobs, and then you throw in a top IDP asset, 210, which could be Jared Verse, Leatu Latu, Dallas Turner, and a 2025 second. So this is a pretty
That's a
clear winner on the package side for me.
Yeah, Foye, like a true difference maker in
Truly,
IDP leagues.
and that's
4
hard to come
years in
by.
a row of
Yes.
being an LB1. And I mean, I think he can contend for that title for the next 3 or 4 years. So, yeah, I like the package as well. A.J. Brown, yeah, he's been slept on for whatever reason. I don't know what the deal is. Why
I
he's
don't know.
slipping.
Well, people may be like, well, Jalen Hurts runs the ball a lot at the goal line. Now you got Saquon Barkley there as well.
Just
So
they re-up Devonta Smith.
yeah,
It's
Devonta
like,
Smith.
so?
So yeah, A.J. Brown's still the alpha. Yeah. Still the best player on that offense. So next up here, we got from Mace, 10-team PPR, big play scoring, start 11-11, traded James Conner, the 304, the 404, and the 704 for Quinnen Williams, Rashee Rice, and Darius Slayton.
Very relevant trade for today.
Yes, it is. And here's why we say that. I was originally on the side with the Rashee Rice, Quinnen Williams, Darius Slayton. But folks, Rashee Rice is a certified knucklehead after the news comes out today that I believe he assaulted a photographer in a Dallas nightclub or something like that, a Dallas club.
Yeah, fresh off a month of leaving an accident.
Yes, fresh off, the news.
Speeding.
Who was it that dropped it just casually? Maybe Palmer or somebody on a podcast that the Chiefs are expecting half a season suspension. Now you may be looking
Yikes.
at 3/4 of a season with this now stacked on top of it. So not good for Rashee Rice. And it did. It changed my opinion on the trade. I love Big Q. I think Slayton's a fine flex option, but I mean, I think I'd rather have the picks at this point because I don't know, man. Rashee Rice just makes me really nervous at this
It's
point.
a 10-team. Is it Superflex?
He did not say. I can go back and check. 'Cause
He might
sent
be in
me
the chat. Mace, drop it in the chat if you don't mind. If it's Superflex, that 304 and a 10-team would be maybe kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the 24th pick.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like
It'd be one of the edge
you
rushers.
get your Dallas Turner, Verse probably, Latu maybe.
And then at the 404 or the 704, you could grab one of the other defensive tackles if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, there'll still be something nice at 404.
Johnny Newton, Braden Fisk at 704 maybe.
What's that's really like a 310,
Yeah.
312.
Yeah.
So yeah, there'll be something nice there too, man.
And James Conner, he's still got some juice left in him. He does miss some time, but
It is wild though, because I mean, I do like Rashee Rice. He was so good last year. I mean, year one, that's everything you want to see out of a receiver. You know, Travis Kelce's getting older. I mean,
who knows what to think about Hollywood this year too.
Rashee Rice could still be fine though. If he can,
I don't know, man. I agree. If he can keep his head on straight, he'll be fine.
this has
but
got to be the last thing he does, of course.
boy. It's not looking
two
good.
pretty close together now.
Not
But maybe
looking
this
good.
will be a wake up call. You know, thought the first one would have been big enough.
Yeah,
but,
you'd think so.
Sometimes it takes a couple.
Sometimes you just got to assault a photographer after
Sure.
a
Hey, sometimes they
life-altering-
shouldn't be there. What are you doing there?
You can't just say, hey, no, thank you, no pictures. You have to
Nope,
assault
you're
them.
getting assaulted.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to wake up and choose assault that day.
How are they
apparently.
going to learn if you don't assault them?
That's right.
You know?
That was Rashee Rice's thought process. So yeah, probably now with the Rice news on the side of the picks and James Conner, who probably has at least 1 year, and then I think it's Trey Benson season there. So
Yeah.
let's move to the next trade. This is from @Schweitz54. 14 teams start, 8 offense, 10 IDP, half point PPR, big play. He is weak at LB and DB, and he had a series of 3 trades. He traded Brian Burns for Jaquan Brisker, traded Tyler Algier for Ernest Jones, and traded Jonathan Mingo plus a 2024 third for Xavier McKinney. I think there is a very clear trade that I love here in this package of trades, Addy, and 2 that I'm not as crazy about. Algier for Ernest is highway robbery. I think we probably need to call the authorities on that one.
Yeah.
Don't know how that happens.
Nothing to discuss there.
Yeah, that's just a clear slam dunk. But I'd rather have Brian Burns over Jaquan Brisker.
Same.
And then a third for McKinney is a little rich. I mean, if you're looking at this as a 14-teamer, we don't know where that third-round pick is. Could be at the beginning or the end. But you're going to be in range for one of those top edge rushers there, more than likely. So I think even being DB needy, a third is a little rich for McKinney. Addy, I think I'd rather just farm DB.
Yeah, for sure. He said he was weak at linebacker and DB. So
Yes.
if I'm trading Brian Burns, I'm trading him for a linebacker.
Yeah, I agree.
And
And you could probably get a nice linebacker or 2
I would think so.
for Brian Burns.
I would think so. And yeah, I mean, Brisker's kind of one of the more overrated safeties in IDP, in my opinion. 12.1 points per game as a rookie, 12.4 last year. So I mean, that's fine. That's good. That's a good start to his career. But I mean, I don't think he's got like a Derwin or Antoine Winfield type upside or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, in leagues like that, especially big play leagues, like if you're gonna punt a position as defensive back, because also in big play leagues, like cornerback should have more relevance, and you should be able to find those guys on the waiver wire a lot easier. In my big play leagues, I usually start like a couple cornerbacks typically because people just sleep on them all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I've got tons of Keyshawn Nixon off the waivers in these big leagues. You know, tons of Lante Taylor last year, tons of Byron Murphy, dudes that were like putting up 20-point games pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said weak at DB, which makes me think maybe it's a sleep. Yep, it's sleeper. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it is.
it's okay to be weak at DB in a big play league.
in a big play league, especially DB on sleeper. Yeah, Bobo, cornerbacks are going to be
Easiest thing
your
to find on
friends. Yeah.
waivers, man.
You can farm it.
Yeah. Give me Burns, easy. Give me Ernest Jones. It did make me kind of look back at Xavier McKinney. Jonathan Mingo has 0 value at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a throw-in, honestly.
He said I think he had a comment like he would have traded him for literally anything.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, that makes the most sense.
crazy.
Looking at Xavier McKinney over the last 9 weeks of the New York Giants season, Xavier McKinney had 5 double-digit tackle games. He had a half a sack. He had 2 fumble recoveries. He had 3 INTs. Xavier McKinney also played 100% of the Giant snaps last year.
He did.
Never
Him and
came off the
Okereke
field,
both. Yep.
which is crazy. The only issue for me is that the model for safeties in Green Bay is not really that helpful for IDP, in my opinion.
I haven't had one in a while.
I've loved Amos. I've loved Darnell Savage. There's lots
Nixon's
of players
probably
there.
the DB you want.
Jonathan,
from Green
Jonathan
Bay.
Owens. Oh, absolutely. There's lots of really like good for the NFL safeties there, but none of them have been that relevant for IDP. I mean, honestly, when's the last time y'all
been a bit.
roster any of those guys?
It's been a bit. I think Xavier McKinney is the best one they've had in a
Oh,
while.
for sure.
But yeah, they haven't had one that's relevant in a
And
while.
now you've
or
got a
been good for
situation.
IDP.
You got a situation now with like Quay Walker. You've got Isaiah McDuffie. Now you've got Edgerrin Cooper in front. Like maybe the
Yeah.
best linebacking group that they've had in a while. And now you're bringing in Xavier McKinney to try to sniff out some of those tackles. So it made me deep dive into Xavier McKinney a little bit more. I don't hate it.
But we'll see what those thirds turn into.
What
you know?
what would you have
Exactly.
felt comfortable with McKinney? A fifth?
Fourth,
Yeah.
Fourth is
Fourth.
kind of in between.
Third is
but-
just you have a chance at one of those edge rushers
Yeah.
there.
a fourth, but also a fourth could be Cole Bishop,
be Peyton Wilson.
It could be Peyton Wilson. Could be Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
Chop Robinson.
For sleeper, I don't know that I'm trading for DB.
I'm not trading
because-
for DB.
because you have DB as the position group.
Yeah.
So it's like the cornerbacks, you can farm that position so easily
And also,
off waivers.
it is a 14-team league, so that it is.
Yeah.
Probably
That's a lot of picks.
Two extra
but
picks
it's only
per round.
but it's only 10. It's only 10 on IDP. Like
Yeah.
most leagues I'm in, we're like 12 or 13.
11,
Yeah.
12,
So I mean,
13.
waiver wire should still have plenty of solid
I think so.
IDPs. Out
It's
there.
not that bad. McKinney was pretty dang good last year.
was.
It's
fine.
It's on
Yeah.
the
It's
borderline. Yeah.
I would prefer not to do it.
Sure.
Not to send the third.
Yeah.
Not to buy a DB.
Gotcha.
Don't ever buy a DB.
But I mean,
don't sim for DBs.
Yeah, but you're not out here spending a first for Antoine Winfield or anything like that.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
it's a
because
third.
essentially you moved Burns and a third for Brisker and McKinney.
Yeah. See, I think you could you
I
have
like it.
gotten
Nah, I don't either.
could you have gotten
But
like
you got Ernest Jones.
some of those.
Tilt it way back up
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Yeah, you did. So you got you helped your
You got to lose to win sometimes.
You could have gotten probably a top 12 line. Could you have gotten Azeez Al-Shaair for Brian Burns?
I would have tried.
I would have tried
would have
something
tried.
like that, right? It's one, you're
Probably
not,
not.
You're not going to get a Foye. You're not going to get a Roquan, but could you get one of those like guys
Could you
that we
get a
know?
JOK for Brian Burns? Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So next up here from one of our own, it is Evan Ringler. 16 teams, Superflex, start 10 offense, 11 IDP, true position, start 3 linebackers, big play scoring. He gave the 202 and the 210. Got Roquan. The 202 ended up being Edgerrin Cooper as the first IDP, and the 210 was Jalen Polk. So basically, Edgerrin Cooper, Jalen Polk for Roquan Smith. Of course, the picks themselves are more valuable, in my opinion, than the players when you're making the trade, because that gives the manager the option to make the selection. So it's always more valuable when it's a pick versus when it's a name, but the name helps us understand kind of contextually how the trade ended up shaking out. So I think this is a pretty fair trade, Addy. I could understand it both ways depending on your situation. If you're rebuilding, you want Cooper and Polk, but I think Roquan is such, you talk about Foye as a difference maker. Right. Roquan's right up there as well, should be good for many years to come. And if you don't have to give up a first to get Roquan, that's pretty good. So I understand it both ways. I'd probably lean Roquan Smith.
Yeah, I'm in a similarly formatted 16-teamer. And so I went back and looked at this draft, and it looks like guys like Ricky Pearsall, Jalen Polk, Xavier Leggett, A.D. Mitchell, those were all on the board at the 202.
Okay.
Is that enough?
No.
I personally would kind of like a better option.
I'd like it like it's like a tier up, like a
Yeah,
tick up
exactly.
from that.
I want to get in like the Keon Coleman lab
Yeah.
range.
If it was Ladd, yeah, I think maybe I'm thinking more about it.
Right.
But that tier of wide receiver, not so much. Doesn't really move the needle for me.
And then I looked at 210. Blake Corum went 210 in this draft. That's nice. But also all the edge rushers were on the board at 210. Ben Sinnott was there at 210. Junior Colson and Edgerrin Cooper were both there at 210. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad. I mean, if you could load up on both the edge rushers if you wanted to. You could take one at 202 and one there at 210 if you wanted to go that route.
Yeah, you could.
And I mean, in that case, it's the 2 edge rushers versus Roquan. Does that make you feel a little different?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a lot closer. I still think Roquan is probably my choice, but again, it's situation dependent. Am I trying to win this year? Give me Roquan.
Yeah.
Am I trying to rebuild and play more for the future? Give me the 2 edge rushers or the 2 picks, I guess. Bobo, what about you?
I'm on the picks.
Okay. Tell me why.
I do love Roquan. Don't get me wrong, and I think it's a nice little buy window for Roquan, honestly. But I know you're kind of talking about getting a level up from that Pearsall, Polk, Leggett, A.D. Mitchell. I like that group right there.
He
Pretty
likes
good.
that group a lot.
I like Jalen Polk starting to really creep up a lot of these boards. What if all of a sudden we see Debo or Ayuk moved? What in the world would that do to Ricky Pearsall?
No kidding.
Also, if some of this dummy stuff keeps happening with Rasheed, what is Xavier Worthy going to get to?
Yep.
Like, I'm starting to see him as like, I saw him go over Odunze the other day.
Oh, wow.
Which
That's
is
too
crazy. But that's what the Rasheed news is doing to people. I don't know. I think with the options, the picks are either something that I would package together to move up or grab one of these wide receivers. And then I don't know that I would have gone Edgerrin Cooper in the second. I think I probably would have gone with one of these edge rushers. But I don't hate it. It's okay.
Definitely not drafting a linebacker in the second this year's class.
No, not
chance.
at all. Not at all.
I'll take Cole. I've gotten Colson in the third and
Yeah.
in like the late third. And in a few of these drafts, I've gotten Trevin Wallace in the late fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Those are basically I'll take Tyrese Knight in the fifth. But those are really the only linebackers.
The late linebackers.
Right.
Yep.
Third, fourth, fifth.
I'm a Cedric
That's
Gray
second.
guy. If I can get a fifth for Cedric Gray,
That'd be
I'm
fine too.
kind of happy with that.
I'm cool
also.
with that.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Next trade we got from Dan Miller. Dan says 10-team PPR Superflex big play, start 3 LB and 4 IDP flex. So kind of an interesting setup here where it's not like DL, LB, DB plus flex. Sounds like it's just a start 7, 3 linebackers, 4 IDP flex. Traded the 302 for Byron Young. The 302 somehow, inexplicably, was used to draft Brian Thomas Jr. Addy, I think you said a guy that has been top 15 in every single draft that you've done so far.
Yeah.
So I don't know how this happened, but
He's been sliding, though, lately for some reason. People have decided they hate Trevor Lawrence now.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brian Thomas Jr. is buried on sleeper, so that probably has something to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I want the 302, especially in a
Right.
a league that only starts 7 IDPs.
Yeah, if that's the case, if it's just 7 starters, I mean, Byron Young is barely a starter in that format.
Yeah,
I don't really expect him to. I mean, I expect his snap share to decrease a
Yeah, I was
little
gonna
bit.
say
in year
we're gonna
2.
do veteran winners and losers with Scott Bogman next week. Byron Young is going to be on the loser list for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no way this helps his situation. I don't think from an IDP standpoint.
I'm not going to knock him much, but I don't expect him to take. I don't expect him to get to 90% now. You know,
Yeah.
I'd rather have Verse. I think Verse is the guy
it's
that
a fun little duo. I think
it is. Yeah, it's nice, but it's
yeah,
like
I get what you're saying, but yeah, I mean, again, it's format where you only start 7. He doesn't have much,
and it's
value.
a 10 team.
I don't think he's ever going to be.
There's
a guy
only
that's-
70 starters on IDP.
Yeah, that's he's a flex option.
Yeah, let's see where Byron Young is right now in the best balls. He is ADP, looks like, I'll find it here in just a second, 84. So he's outside the top 70.
Yeah, I don't have a lot
So
of Byron
just
Young.
according to the market, he is on the waivers in this league.
Yeah.
So,
No thanks.
yeah. Bobo?
And then also like the fact that it's 3 linebackers and 4 IDP flex, you need to be stuffing in as many linebackers as you can there. Even though it's big play, like get your consistency with these linebackers. If you have the option to start 7
Yeah, absolutely.
linebackers, man,
why would you
take
have
that angle?
any variance in terms of your weekly scoring?
Yeah.
Maybe you sprinkle in like one like DL for some big play upside, but
I'm assuming the
go
big play.
linebacker,
I'm
maybe.
assuming the big play scoring is similar to big 3. I mean, where linebackers are still very valuable.
yes,
You know,
stack in those guys.
so run it up with the LBs.
I'm just trying to rack my brain as to how I understand Superflex. I understand 10 teams. So there's what 6 quarterbacks,
So
7 quarterbacks. that are gonna go?
302 is the 22nd pick.
Okay, minus how many quarterbacks would go ahead of that? 6.
Yeah.
All right,
be somebody nice there.
but how's Brian Thomas Jr.
BTJ is like probably the 105, 106
in
for me at
Superflex,
worst.
He's in that probably 105 to 108
actually,
range.
I saw him go like 15, 16 in the league.
That's crazy.
So
to
I mean,
me.
he went to 6 picks later. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it
Still,
can happen.
first round
If you
wide
got
receiver.
if you
First
got
round?
some
First round.
Yeah, and I think he's in a great situation, dude.
yeah,
I
man,
love,
he's
in
the
a,
wide receiver 1 for that team. Probably.
Calvin Ridley is gone. Zay Jones is
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna.
It's him and Gabe Davis
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
and
a baller.
Christian Kirk.
Yeah. That's
So-
crazy.
Stop sleeping on
I need an
BTJ.
invite to that league, please and thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you,
Same
Dan.
here. So invite all of us if you
Yes,
would, Dan.
thank
We'd
you.
love to be in there, brother.
Thank you, Dan.
Good God, Dan. Thank you, brother.
Steve Turvey, 32-team league. We got one, guys. We got
Oh,
a
wow.
32-team league trade. Half-point PPR. Start 7-7. 7 offense, 7 IDP. Traded CJ Mosley and Dexter, the CJ Mosley and Dexter Lawrence for Shaq Thompson, Julian Blackman, the 128.
The picks look hilarious.
I know it's like the 222. I'm like, what in the hell is this? The 128 ended up being Marshawn Lloyd. I was originally on team. Who is it here? The Mosley and Dexter Lawrence side, and I still think that in terms of 2024 relevance, CJ Mosley is the guy that will score you the most points out of this group. Shaq Thompson, not a lot of hope there with Josie Jewell in town. Julian Blackman will be fine. He'll be solid for the Colts in that box safety role in the Gus Bradley defense. Marshawn Lloyd, I think you got to be patient with Marshawn Lloyd because Josh Jacobs is signed there for at least a couple years. You've got A.J. Dillon. And then what is the 222? That's even just hilarious to say. Turn into. That is the equivalent of a 506 in a 12-team league. So, Addy,
Not terrible.
Your comment made me change my mind. So, read your kind of reaction to this one.
Good with the cash out here. Mosley will be 32 when the season starts. And while I do think he could be IDP relevant until he's 34, 35, the sell windows are closing. And I'll also be honest, I love Dexter in real life, but he doesn't do much for me in IDP. 7.7 points per game in 2020, 7.3 in 2021, 13 points per game in 2022, 9.6 points per game in 2023. Gives us a nice solid floor with tackles, but he's never going to be a big sack total guy. Let's also attach a name to the 506.
Yes, let's do that.
May
That was
swing
helpful.
you a little bit. So let's say Trevin Wallace falls to him there. Also, I drafted Cole Bishop at 507 in the league.
That's
just
beautiful.
before we got here.
I've had some go to waivers.
So
for
if that's
old
Cole Bishop or Trevin Wallace.
Let's go with Trevin Wallace because we're talking about Shaq Thompson.
Thompson.
That's kind of nice. Both those guys in
Succession
Carolina.
plan.
So you got Shaq Thompson, Trevin Wallace, Julian Blackman, Marshawn Lloyd. That's much better, I think, right?
Yes.
And I think that package has a better chance, to be more relevant in 2 to 3 years than
I agree.
Mosley and Dex.
Yeah, like you said, I'm good with the cash out. I think Mosley gives you the best chance at points in 2024. Bobo, what say you?
I agree. Package. I would say it's probably pretty hard to trade CJ Mosley right now, just because he is quite a bit older.
Do you all see him in that same kind of Bobby Wagner, Levante David light?
No.
As far as just could have a long,
Yeah, I think so. DeMario Davis,
profitable
I think,
career.
yeah, exactly. I think he's going to be fine.
I don't
think
see him-
He'll kick around for another 2 years.
I'm not saying he'll be as productive as those guys. I'm just saying I think he'll have the sticking power.
Okay.
Probably getting cut after this year
Yes,
in
I
New
agree.
York.
Yeah.
But,
Especially if they clean house.
but someone will pick him up. He'll
Year
get a
or two,
1 year.
he'll
He'll get a
bounce
couple
around. Yes.
1 year deals. Yeah, be a mercenary for a little bit.
Yep. So, I think this is a fair trade. I think the package is slightly more appealing, especially if you're looking for relevance a couple years down the road. Next up, we got a couple from Francis Brimmer, 12-team Superflex PPR tight end premium, start 11-11. Traded the 108, 210, and the 505 for Greg Rousseau, Isaiah Pacheco, and the 112. Addy, kick us off on this one.
I'm not moving back at all for those players. I've drafted Brock Bowers at the 108. I've seen Drake May, J.J. McCarthy there. I like Rousseau and Pacheco fine. Honestly, I really don't. I don't roster a lot of those guys.
They're fine.
They're fine.
There's
They're
not
fine.
guys
not
that I
going
like.
on my way
Yeah.
to get them. Pacheco, I feel like he's getting replaced at some point. That's coming. So if I'm going to acquire those guys, I'm going to do it in another way that doesn't include tearing down my first round pick in a super flex league. No, thank you.
I was originally team Russo and Pacheco, but I wasn't as familiar with the super flex values. But if you're seeing Brock Bowers there, Drake May, JJ McCarthy there, I think I'd rather have the 108, the 210, and the 505, especially in super flex. You should have some nice players there available at the 210. Definitely all the edge rushers should be there. You could have some nice wide receiver options there as well.
It's another second, man. That's nice.
So I think it swayed me once I started seeing what could be there at the 108. I agree with you. I don't know that I necessarily want to move down. Pacheco and Russo don't do enough for me to make me jump down 4 picks. Bobo?
He loves Pacheco.
He does love Pacheco.
Yeah, Pacheco, you're right. I mean, we've probably seen the best of Pacheco at this point, haven't we? No offense to him, but he's probably not going to produce like he has over the last 2 years because it's pretty much just been him there. Superflex, I kind of read this wrong when I read through earlier. The 108 to the 112
So you're moving back 4 spots.
is a pretty massive drop because you're looking at a pretty sexy little group of maybe Brian Thomas is available at 108. You're right, Adam. There's a potential that Bowers is going to be there. You probably have all the running backs available
Could
to you.
Ladd be there at 108 potentially?
Oh,
easily,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think
that's nice.
At 112, you're definitely more into that Keon Coleman, Xavier Leggett.
Well, think if you get a couple extra quarterbacks, three or 4 extra quarterbacks, that 4 pick difference dries up all of the equity that you earn from those quarterbacks going earlier.
Also, people are QB horny though when they'll be willing to trade into those picks, so you could probably accumulate more. If you don't have to drop all the way down from 108 to 112.
So take a page from Adam and let's put a name with one of these guys here. So let's say at the 108, let's just say what Adam wants here. Let's just say you go Bowers at 108. Then let's just say at 210, instead of Rousseau, let's just say you go Jared Verse at 210. And then at the 505, you could even grab one of
Get
these
you a
upside.
doll.
Yeah.
Get you
you
Vidal, get you Isaac Guriendo.
I was gonna say get you
Dylan Lobb.
Get your Kamini.
Sure.
Get you Tyrone Tracy, which is my favorite running back name because it sounds like a dude who's like late 30s, early 40s, working 2 jobs, like really busting his ass.
It's a good name.
Yeah, it really fits well in
It's
New
a
York.
good sell window for Pacheco.
Yeah, I think because of the difference in value from even the 108 to the 112, I'll go with the picks. So next up from Francis, same league, traded Jerry Jeudy, Ivan Pace Jr., the 207 and the 208 for Nick Bolton, the 109 and the 305. I love this. You upgrade the linebacker from Ivan Pace Jr. to Nick Bolton. Jerry Jeudy is nothing but a tease. I know he got paid an outrageous amount of money. I have no idea why the Browns did that.
Browns.
Yeah, it's Browns going to Brown. And then the 109, we were just talking about, it's one pick after that 108. So I guess it helps a little bit. If he traded away the 108, now he just got the 109. So he moved back a spot. We should, like, if this is the same league, combine these trades together to see what his like ultimate package was.
Keep them both though, brother.
Yeah, exactly. And then 305. So I like having the 109. I like having the 305. I like Nick Bolton. I think this was a good move, Eddie.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, Pace, I mentioned him earlier. He's a sell. Judy as well. He just doesn't do it for me anymore. And then that 109 premium pick. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
Good
Bobo.
stuff.
I actually went back and watched Jerry Jeudy tape from Alabama last night.
Wow.
I got down that rabbit hole, and you know, everybody
Never
was,
get that time back, Bob.
everybody was talking. Everybody was talking about just how he was a route god at Alabama, and I didn't really see it. I mean, he was a great player, but I didn't see him just running these filthy routes that he was kind of projected to. You know, that was kind of his MO when he was coming into the league. Anyways, anytime you can add Nick Bolton to a squad, I don't care what you got to do it. You do it. But the 109 is nice too.
There you go.
That's right, Nick Bolton. Yeah, I just gloss over him. Nick Bolton is a very nice piece.
It's a nice
Yeah,
upgrade over
for
Ivan
sure.
Pace Jr. for
Absolutely.
sure. So that's a nice upgrade. So, Addy, we got a couple of your trades here, baby. Why don't you take us through this first one here? It is you traded the 209, the 210, and a 2025 third-round pick. So 3 picks for Foye Oluokun and the 410. The 209 and 210 became Dallas Turner and Jared Verse, and the 410 became Cole Bishop. So take us through this one, Addy.
All right, so let's give some context. This is a start 11 offense, super flex league. So we start a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, 4 flexes, and 1 super flex. On defense, we start 13, 4 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers, 4 DBs, 1 IDP flex.
Get that potato bug out of here.
Love it. So yeah, this is a very deep league. I think rosters are like 53, total. But yeah, offense loaded to the absolute gills, mates. Kyler and Herbert at quarterback. JT and Gibbs are the starting running backs. AJ Brown, Debo Samuel, Tank Dell, Jordan Addison, Ricky Pearsall at wide receiver, Sam Laporta, Trey McBride, Mark Andrews at tight end. Did I mention this is tight end premium?
Good God, Addy.
So again, guys, this offense filled to the absolute brim, overflowing at this point.
It really
honestly.
is. We need to actually have a dispersal draft of just your players.
All right, now let's get to the D. That's what we're all here for, right?
We are
guys?
here for the D.
All right, what's Foye? Who's
I
he
wish
joining?
you all could see his notes right now. This is like
Let him go, Josh.
absolute craziness.
Who's Foye joining, guys? I'll tell you who he's joining. He's joining Aziz Al-Shaair, Fred Warner, Matt Milano, Junior Colson. Welcome to the squad. The defensive lineman, TJ Watt. You ever heard of him?
Nope.
Daniil Hunter, Bryce Huff. I hear he's going to be in for a good year. Yaya Diaby, Dexter Lawrence, Dorrance Armstrong, Kyle Van Noy, shout out. Had to put him on here.
Got to.
Leonard Floyd, AJ Epinesa. Obviously, I'm loaded defensive back. We don't go talk about those guys. We're going for it, mates, all right? I'm not letting this guy over here win 3 in a row. No chance.
No chance.
I am a little filled with regret because I let Dallas Turner slip away from me. But, I mean, come on. We got to go for it every once in a while.
You got Foye. That's
got
pretty
Foye.
nice.
Got
So
Foye, and I got Aziz, and I got Fred at linebacker.
are you making any lineup decisions in this league week in and week out, or are you just like plugging these studs in there every week? I mean, this is filthy, Addy.
Not a lot to do.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we want it, though.
I think I said this.
Bob's won the last 2 years.
Yes, you got to take down this guy right here. I think team situation
Not
is
gonna be
important.
It's happening.
I think if you're looking to win in
We'll cover it on the
2024, Cole Bishop could be a starter for you.
Let's not gloss over that. 4'10", the boy Cole Bishop. Welcome to the squad.
That's not like a
That's my
developmental
dude.
2 or 3 years down the road. That could be a day one locked and loaded starter. We know
right.
Foye is a difference maker.
Cole Bishop is an IDP show original.
Yes.
Got to get him.
And so now in a vacuum, like in a dynasty startup, I probably want Verse and Turner. But in your situation where you're pushing your chips in, you're going for it. Yeah, I think I'd rather have the Foye and Cole Bishop side.
It's very true. Startup, absolutely. I want the edge rushers.
That's why context is important.
Yeah.
And windows, windows to win, just like these
this
NFL teams have.
But
It's
this
very
is
real.
This is a deep ass league, and this is a league with a lot of really good IDP.
This is
players.
unreal.
Unreal. So it's Macri, Joey, Kyle, Bob, myself. I mean, I'm leaving out folks. I apologize, but it's a loaded up league. Johnny, yes. I mean, so it's hard to find guys on the waiver that can make a real difference for you. So I mean, I'm okay occasionally spending some capital. Also, I'm in this position because I've drafted well, and I had the ability to kind of be a little loosey goosey with the picks. But yeah, I mean, I feel good about where I'm at in 2024 and 2025. So.
I like it. I like it for you. I like pushing the chips in.
I think Bobby's a little scared.
I think
of it.
he's scared.
I think he's a little scared.
I'm not
He's like,
scared
I'm gonna
of
have
it.
to make some trades now.
I've actually kind of been sending some offers for Foye in a couple of different leagues, just because I feel like people are kind of, I know he got the little extension this offseason, which is nice, and I know he's getting a little bit older, so people are just kind of tired of 4 years of him great. Like,
I
maybe
kind
he's
of
a
just
good
want
sell.
the challenge of
Yeah,
not having a
like,
top LB.
So let me have
What about
Foye.
Trent Simpson? He could be
Yeah.
the next big thing, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, Devin Lloyd looked good last year. Yeah.
no, just take Foye.
Foye's
Just
awesome.
take Foye.
I don't hate this. I mean,
You do hate it.
209, 210, 25 third. Foye's elite, man. Foye is an elite linebacker. And we honestly, kind of what you said earlier, Josh, in a different context, not Bobby Wagner, but kind of tracking along those same lines.
Stud, man.
4 years in a row for
Give him his flowers.
Production-wise,
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a reason he's on the cover art for the draft kit.
yeah,
Homeboy has earned it.
yeah, he's awesome.
And those are 2 late seconds, but whoever drafted with these did well.
Aaron did a great job. Shout out Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice job there,
I'll,
Aaron.
I'll be probably coming for Dallas Turner. at
Yes,
some
you
point,
will. Yes,
but,
you will.
Until then,
Until then, enjoy them. Take care of them. Addy, you got another trade here. You traded Eric Kendricks, the 402, the 409, the 510, and a 2025 second and a 2026 second for Roquan Smith and the 508. That's probably my favorite part. Is just toss the 508 in there for me. Put the little cherry
it
on
was an
top.
upgrade. It was I upgraded the 5th. You see it? I
did.
traded
You
away the 510.
I know.
Love it.
That was my favorite part was the little upgrade there. So basically, you upgraded. You gave up a couple fourths. You gave away a couple future seconds. You got yourself Roquan Smith. If I had the he can't keep getting away with it gif, I would play it on screen for you all right now. But I love this for you. We talked about earlier. I love when you don't have to give up a first-round pick for Roquan Smith. You did not have to give up a first-round pick for Roquan Smith, so bravo, good sir.
Yeah, the guy that I was trading with didn't have hardly any picks at all. Definitely didn't have the 402. This bug, man.
I know, he's trying to get in your mouth.
You know what that
Real
thing
horny
is.
for you. Nice job getting him off the desk, though.
Yeah,
Like
get out of here.
stink
He's
bug.
coming
Oh,
back.
God, he's angry.
no.
Now, that's another thing, too, though, to pay attention to is, who doesn't have draft picks?
Exactly right.
I played that game. It was not an IDP trade, so I didn't put Pittman and Tucker Kraft to the guy that had 0 picks. He had 0 picks in this draft.
they're worth a lot more to those folks.
Yes, I knew he wanted to get in. I knew he wanted to get a little younger, a little cheaper. It's an RSO salary
Everyone wants
cap
to get
league.
in.
Yes,
Everyone wants to get in.
It's
We've all
fun.
watched the draft. Exactly.
Yes.
We want to throw some darts.
Yep.
So yeah, it's very easy to sell to guys like that don't have any picks. So that was my thought. Also, he was a Dallas fan, so trading away Eric Kendricks made
yep.
a lot of sense.
Very
I do
nice.
like Eric Kendricks though. I mean, I really don't think I won too much next year because Kendricks says this is RSO league. Roquan's under contract for 2 years.
LB 30
How
right
much?
now. Eric Kendricks.
Yeah, Roquan's probably 10 per.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll re-sign him. I'll keep him. I'll keep
Salary
Roquan
cap
for another.
keeps going up.
Right. I'll have Roquan for another
Is that an
6
XFL?
years. Yes.
Is it really?
So I have Roquan and Fred Warner now as my linebackers.
Did you get him from Lazy?
Got it from Aaron, didn't you?
Aaron.
I traded Roquan and Aaron.
Yes.
Look at you.
Forgot about
Eskimo
that
brothers.
Forgot about that
I
one.
had to get him. I had to get him.
Had to get the boy.
It was time.
Bring the boy home.
But I mean, those are the type of trades I'm willing to make.
Yeah.
Certain linebackers, right? I'm not going to be dabbling and trying to buy these guys that could have upside.
If you're moving picks for LBs, you're getting the studs.
I need a sure thing.
Yeah.
And also, too, like, we all love picks and we're all doing drafts and everything. Go back and look at your past 4th rounders, 5th rounders, 3rd rounders. Like,
A lot of guys that I'm
10%.
just trying to salary dump.
Dude, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Trying to get off
Especially-
my team.
Yeah, that's a good point in XFL. Like, you're linking yourself to these guys
Just
for
like,
4
oh,
years.
God, I don't want to have to pay this guy.
Don't have too many picks in the XFL. Nico, I'm talking to you.
Yep.
Because it can come back to bite you,
Yeah,
man.
you don't want to.
You
It's
got to
just
cut them and
it's-
eat their cap.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're up against the cap. Even if the guy's like 800K or something, then he's at 900K, then he's $1 million. Like
Yeah.
you could use that space.
It
You
adds
know,
up.
Yeah.
you could grab a couple 500K guys in the auction, but you've got this dud at in the 4th round that's costing you $1 million in year 3.
We
Dead
waited
cap.
to the end to talk about the RSO stuff. So it's a little more advanced.
It
So
is,
Only
yes.
the true degens that stuck
Yes,
around.
yes.
Right.
In your
So
head.
let's do a speed round, gentlemen, and shout out
Yes.
Coach Snyder. He gave us 9 trades. God bless him.
Wow.
So I just want your kind of initial gut reaction. What side do you like? Was it a good move? Just whatever kind of comments you want to throw in here. I don't want to spend a lot of time on each one, but shout out Coach Snyder. 16-team league, salary cap, starting 23 in total, including 11 IDP. So it start 12 offense, 11 IDP. Trade Petre away for Dotson and Dynasty. How did I do?
This is Andrew Preston. Shout out our
Oh,
boy.
nice. Shout out Andrew. Tyrell Dotson for Petre in Dynasty.
So he traded away Petre, and he's receiving Tyrell Dotson.
I like the Dotson
Kind
side.
of like it, yeah.
I like the
out
Dotson
on
side.
Petre. I mean, he kind of got benched towards the end of the year.
Petre was the prior group, too, wasn't he? He wasn't a D'Amico Ryan's guy.
I think he was.
Right, correct.
Yes, that is correct.
I like that a lot then.
Yep. Yeah, I think Tyrell Dotson's being slept on quite a bit. Guys like sneaky young, 25, 26, right? So, yeah, I mean, there's a real chance that he could be solid there in Seattle and go parlay that into another deal.
Yep.
And be relevant for us in IDP for another, 2-3 years.
Could be on the Aziz Al-Shair
Right.
kind of career path of take a little 1-year stopgap deal and then go get you a big deal somewhere else.
Yep.
So let's do the speed round. Notable IDPs that Coach Snyder had already on the roster: Justin Matabikwe, Jalen Phillips, Yaya Diaby, Miles Murphy, Kenneth Murray, Micah McFadden, Isaiah McDuffie. Gentlemen, here we go. Speed round. Trade number 1, 2025, 4th and a 6th for Willie Gay and a 2025 7th. Willie Gay was on a cheap 3-year contract. That sounds like a good flyer to me on Willie Gay. You get back a 2025 7th round pick. Bobo.
Yep, I like Willie Gay. Let me have that.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
4th and a 6th for Willie Gay and a 2025 7th. So a 4th and a 6th. Keep in mind, this is a 16-team league.
Whoa, those are some deep.
So, a 4th could be
Addy, this is the speed round. 4th and a 6th for Willie Gay and a 2025 7th.
give me the picks.
Give you the picks. Okay. Number 2, late 2025 first and a late 2nd for Zaire Franklin, Frankie Louvu, and Noah Sewell, all on dirt cheap 2-year contracts. I'd rather have the picks. Addy?
Picks.
Yep, same.
Picks. Okay. Next up, number 3, late 2025 third and a late 24 fourth for Nolan Smith on a cheap 3-year deal. So a late 25 third, late 24 fourth for Nolan Smith in a 16-team league.
Picks. I'm re-rolling, I think.
Yeah, that's
It's close,
too much for Nolan.
but I'll take the picks as well. All right, this next one, 2025 7th for Carl Brooks.
Yeah. Well,
I'd rather have the pick.
yeah.
I think I'd rather have the pick.
That'll probably be our first and last Carl Brooks trade question.
I was going to say,
Did not
Carl,
see that one coming.
For the casuals, can we tell the folks at home who Carl Brooks is?
He's on Green Bay. They drafted him last year. Was he like a defensive tackle?
I think there's some Carl Brooks fans out there.
But I think he is getting some nice little year 2 buzz. I mean, he could be fine. He
yeah,
could be
2025 7th. Who cares? If
Maybe.
you like
Yeah.
Carl Brooks, go for
Go
it.
get him, man.
Whatever.
Next
Sure.
up,
Go Pack, go.
Ed Oliver, 2025 mid and second, late second. So I think I'm reading this as Ed Oliver, a mid 2025 second, a late 2025 second for Jonathan Taylor.
JT.
I think
man.
that seems
JT.
like a slam dunk.
Yeah.
He said Oliver was on a 3-year relatively cheap deal, and
Who
Taylor
cares?
is on a
Don't care.
Not
Taylor is
worth.
on a premium deal.
Yeah, you can stop.
Yeah,
Stop explaining.
don't care. I'm giving all the context here, folks. Number 6, late 2024, 4th and 5th for Keon White, who is listed as a D tackle. I think I would rather have the picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Keon White, but
Yeah,
again,
but
like,
how much you gonna roster him
yeah.
He just seems like he's a roster clogger,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
or start him? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, the format's important for players. Like,
D tackle
yeah,
designation
you start two
makes it
different
a little
tackles.
more interesting.
You start 2 DTs, sure, he's interesting.
Yeah.
Sleeper, you start 5 DLs. That's I guess he's
Yeah.
interesting, but at least like not like that. Like he's not
rostered in a lot of places.
not yet. At least
Yeah.
maybe he takes a large step, but
Check for Barmore instead.
yeah,
There you go.
get you some Barmore.
Number 7, 2025, mid-third, late-third, and mid-fourth for Jaquan Brisker. Safety scores well on tackling and pass rush, plus he's on a cheap contract.
What was the picks again?
Mid-third, late-third, mid-fourth in 2025.
Hell yeah, let me get those picks.
Yeah, picks.
I
I'd
mean
rather
they're way away, but I don't care.
I'd
Man.
rather have the picks than
We're gonna
Jaquan
get there,
Brisker.
guys.
We kind of mentioned this earlier. We're not probably giving up even third-round picks for safeties.
People loving Brisker.
Yeah, they are.
Love and Brisker.
So Leonard Williams, 2 late 2024 fifths for Jesse Bates, and a 2024 7th. Williams is on an expensive contract. Give me Jesse Bates.
Yeah, if you're dumping some salary,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yep. And you're
I'm
just
okay with
giving up a couple late 2024 fifths, and you're
Yeah.
getting back a 7th.
I'll give those up.
Yep.
And I mean, Jesse Bates is a difference maker.
Yeah.
You know, I know he is skating off like some huge big plays from last year. I think we had like 5 picks at
Yeah.
least,
Yeah.
and he
5 or
also, and a
6.
couple of those were pick sixes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was a
So
monster.
don't count
last
on
year.
that
Yeah.
in his second year there in Atlanta, but still one of the better safety options.
Yes,
He'll play a
absolutely. And then he bolstered his cornerback room, 2025 7th for. So it's a singular 7th, it looks like, for Patrick Surtain, Sauce Gardner, and Joey Porter Jr.
Sure,
Great.
sure. I like Joey
Absolutely,
Porter a lot,
especially if
year 2.
CB required.
I like
2025
Surtain.
7th. I mean, that's a nothing burger.
Surtain and Sauce aren't probably going to be the best IDP wise, but they're not leaving the field, so
Yeah.
that's nice.
Why not?
And they'll have weeks where they get targeted. They're matched up against someone good.
Yeah. So shout out to everyone who sent us in trades. We really appreciate y'all. We've just got some love here in the comments for Deep Degenerate Leagues. Elkway is dropping some knowledge about the deep league that he is in. Brad Gilbert is agreeing. Yeah, we love Deep Degenerate Leagues as well. Okay, so we got a trade on the Twitters from Neil G. Shout out, Neil. Thank you for sending this in, buddy. 10 teams start DL, LB, DB, 6 IDPs. So I'm guessing that's maybe 6 flexes.
Yeah.
So you got start 9, DL, LB, DB, 6 flexes. Tackle heavy scoring favors LB and in the box DB. Roquan, Bolton, Quay, Jordan Brooks, Luke Wilson, Jewel, Hicks, Pete Warner, who you just talked about, Diablo, Anderson, Aziz Al-Shair, Kaiser White, EJ Speed. Where's the keep trade line? So this is another one of those leagues where you've got 6 flex spots, and it's tackle heavy, favors linebackers, and in the box DBs. So I'm probably starting 7 linebackers, a DL and a DB. Bobo, you agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
Read him
so
slow again.
Here is, tell me where you think
Roquan.
the line is. Luke Wilson, did he maybe mean
Logan Wilson.
Logan Wilson? There we go. Let's assume that's Logan Wilson. So Roquan, Bolton, Quay, Jordan Brooks.
So Roquan, Bolton, Quay, yes. Jordan Brooks, yes.
Yep.
Let's say that's Logan Wilson,
Logan Wilson, yes.
Josie Jewell,
Yes.
Okay.
Hell yes.
Jordan Hicks.
Yep.
Sure.
Pete Warner, I think, is definitely
That's-
get him out.
Woo-wee.
Stanky. Diablo.
Nope.
Trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, get him
him
out.
on.
I like old Eichenberg in there.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
Troy Anderson.
Probably trade.
Trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aziz Al-Shair.
Keep.
Kaiser
Absolutely.
White.
I like Kaiser White quite a bit.
I think he's a keep.
I think he's
a nice
underrated,
sleeper.
man. You got some great linebackers.
You really
here.
do.
Should,
That's a good point.
You should dominate.
Now, keep in mind, though, you're starting 7 LBs, so you probably want to keep at least
Yeah, 7 of them.
at least. EJ Speed.
Keep.
Yeah.
I think he's a keep as well. So we're saying keep everyone except for Stinky Pete, Divine Diablo, Troy Anderson. Those are the 3.
Kazier's not going to have a big enough market.
I think people are still sleeping on Kaiser.
Yeah.
I'm curious where he's going. Let's see what his ADP is right now in the best balls. He is going as LB 39. So that is delicious value right there on Kaiser White. So, okay. Well, thank you all for sending in the picks. We really appreciate it. We'll be hanging out
A lot
here.
of fun.
Yeah, we'll be hanging out here for just a couple more minutes. If you want to drop a kind of last-minute trade here, we'll be happy to get it in. Thank you again to everyone who sent in trades through the website, through Twitter. We really appreciate y'all. We literally cannot do this show if you all do not participate. The numbers on the stream kind of viewers here is crazy, the highest we've ever had. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Yeah. We're also setting records over on the IDPshow.com with the traffic numbers, the subscription numbers. You all are awesome. We already knew that, but it's just really cool to be reminded of that during times like this. If you'd like to get the IDP Show Draft Kit, it is available for $5 a month over at the IDPshow.com. We have rookie rankings in there. We've got Mike Wollert's customizable projections for 2024. We've got Adam's Dynasty and Best Ball rankings. We've got sleepers, breakouts, and fades. We've got the ADP. We've got the crash course in there. We've got a cheat sheet for you. If you're like Bobo, you want to print it off and cross people off as they get drafted, go in there and do it, folks. So let's take one more look here to see if we've got any more. Okay, so we got a question from Chase, and we'll wrap up with this one here. General question: in big play sleeper leagues, should you prioritize edge rushers over off-ball linebackers? Addy, speak to this one because I feel like this is something you've been talking about a lot. Big play sleeper leagues, should you prioritize edge rushers over off-ball linebackers?
I think a lot of it's going to depend on how many you're starting at each position, right? If you're starting a lot of defensive linemen, yes, I think so. If you're starting at least 4, I think you want to prioritize these edge rushers early, you know. And then, I mean, you don't want to ignore linebacker, but I'm not going to try and overdraft these guys. I'm gonna be more likely to try and farm linebacker, or not necessarily farm, but just get the value. You'll be able to get the vets. You'll be able to get a lot of vets late that'll be solid. Like you'll be able to get Josie Jewell, C.J. Mosley, Levante David. Like you can get all these guys late in drafts. Whereas edge, you're just you're just going to be picked over. They're not going to have the upside. You want to attack that position early. I think at least come away after, you know, in a startup with combined offense, I think after your first 12 rounds, I would like to have maybe 2 edge rushers.
Yeah, I agree. I'm prioritizing edge rusher. I just think store of value, especially in big play leagues, that's going to be. Now, what has really helped linebacker is in true position leagues, 3-down linebackers, especially with the way the NFL changing, Bobo, harder to come by. So I'm a little more, it's a little closer than it used to be. Yeah. But, you know, the true position world, the kind of shifting landscape with fewer 3-down linebackers does make those guys more important.
There's definitely lots of names. I think probably because we do this, you know, 5th year going into doing IDP, we have helped people pull out value in a lot of these linebackers and a lot of these deep, you know, edges, these names that, you know, you didn't start the season with a Jack Sanborn, and then all of a sudden in week 9, because of the waiver show, you know, because we've kind of put you on who the next man up is going to be. Now Jack Sanborn comes in and helps save your season. But you're exactly right, Josh. The amount of good linebackers in the NFL is really not that deep.
But you can find that sort of replacement level value is much easier to source from linebacker. It is so hard to find impact edges off of waivers in season.
Yeah, if all of a sudden,
Yaya Diabys and Byron Youngs don't grow on trees. You know, that's very rare to find those guys.
All of a sudden, your top edge on whatever team goes down, the guy who's coming up behind him, you're not necessarily replicating tackles. You're trying to replicate sacks, and that's a whole lot harder to do.
Yeah, so
and also, I mean, like if you look at the top linebackers, they're all getting up there in age. I mean, you want to spend a premium pick on Roquan Foye or Fred. I mean, all those guys are over 27 at this point, right?
Yes. And the edge rushers, we've had a huge influx. That's the other thing too. The NFL has drafted and given us an influx of insane edge talent.
Yeah.
Right.
So
but also on the other side of the coin, do you want to spend up on someone like Ernest Jones, who does have a little bit of risk still? It feels like, or Bobby Okereke, like what's like long term, and do you feel great about him?
There's not a lot of sexy linebackers, man. We've kind of talked about it.
It's either those like top 3, or just wait.
Just gobble the value.
Yeah. So here's a good one in a Dynasty League I was offered today, and I've kind of been sitting on it. I was offered Nick Bolton for Jonathan Grenard. And I'm probably going to take it.
You're going to take Nick Bolton?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For Grenard? Yeah, sure.
I think it's fair.
I like Grenard, but what if What if we've already seen maybe
That's
the best
why
of
he's
Grenard?
higher on Dallas Turner. He's trying to talk himself into the trade.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Neil G said,
got
thanks,
Dallas Turner,
gents.
too.
Yes, I meant Logan Wilson there. Attack
There
of
you
the
go.
attack of
You
the
don't need them both.
autocorrect.
Yeah.
That's really, I mean,
That's a good point.
Neil G also said it's taken a few years to get the LBs to this point. Winfield at DB, by the way. Nice job, Neil. That is a good-looking squad, man. Yes. So, yeah, just a little bit of love here. Chase said just drafted Yaya and Byron, so I'm glad you threw them out. Brad said Yaya and Byron were my picks last year. Great value. So, thank you all again for tuning in to this episode of the IDP Trade Show. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. We did have a question. I think it was from Theo saying, how often are you guys going to be doing these trade shows?
Every night.
Pretty much every night of the week. Tune in, check them out. No, we'll be doing it regularly throughout the off season. So make sure you come back. We'll always put out a tweet and a website thread. So make sure you're following us on Twitter.
we keep getting this type of response, maybe a little more.
Maybe more frequently. Yeah, this has been outrageous response. So thank you guys again. If we did not get to your trade on tonight's show, we will answer it on the website.
You
on
didn't get to
Twitter,
my trade with Adam.
on the YouTube comments.
That's right.
Second and third for Cooper Cup.
We're gonna get out of here.
$30 million Cooper Cup.
I had just watched Locked In with Matt Stafford.
I figured. I was like,
I had to have Cup.
It's
I
not-
had to have
yeah.
Coopy.
he's excited about the 2024 season.
Bring
He
him
is.
back.
He's very excited.
Need
So
him and Puka.
thank you all again for tuning in. We will see you all here very soon. Once again, we'll be doing more of these live streams. But y'all take care. We'll see you soon.